Hi, welcome to AGR142, and my name is Ramadhan bin Bahagia, and we're going to talk about weed management. So let's get to it. It's divided by five, which is introduction, weed management, methods, ways to manage weeds, and summary. So first we have the introductions. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna have to read this all to you. So weed management in ornamental plant production, whether in field soil, greenhouses, or outdoor containers, can be difficult but is essential to successful productions. Weeds not only compete with the crop for plant nutrients and sunlight but are also unsightly and do not meet clean nursery quality standards. In addition, ornamental plants infested with certain noxious weeds cannot be sold because of the quarantine regulations. Uh, because of the high value of ornamental crops and the limited number of herbicides available, growers often resort to costly hand weeding. However, many of the strategies used in vegetable row crops or tree crops can be adaptive for use in field-grown trees and cut flowers production. For example, planting in rows allows the field to be more easily cultivated by hand or mechanically. The use of drip irrigation in tree or shrub production greatly reduces excessively wet areas, thus reducing the germination and growth of weeds. So next we have weed germination. Wait, no, not weed germination. Weed management and the main three examples. So the first one we have prevention. The most important factors in overall weed control is to prevent weeds from developing seed and perpetuating the weed problem. Sources of weed introduction include weed stock, weed seeds in the growing area or nearby, or plant propagules in manure, soil uncomposted yard waste, or other organic matter sources. Many growers cultivate or treat the margins of the property with herbicides to reduce the number of windborne or water carried seeds that can be moved to the growing area. Uh, Screens on open water inflow sources can be installed to keep out waterborne seeds. When using fine mesh screens, increasing the surface area of the water intake and periodic debris removal may be needed to avoid clogging of the water flow. So number two, we have cultivation. Weed management system for field-grown ornamentals start with mechanical cultivation. Begin this process by irrigating the field to induce weeds to germinate and then cultivate the new seedlings. Alternatively, the field can be sprayed with a post-emergence herbicide after weed emergence so that the soil will not be disturbed by cultivation before planting. Each time cultivation occurs, new weed seeds can be brought close to the soil surface and germinate. This method reduces the soil seed bank, so fewer weed seeds will be present to germinate when the crop is planted. So after planting and crop emergence, if a seeded crop, pre-emergence herbicides can be used before weed emergence, or the field can be cultivated between rows after new weeds germinate, or both. After harvest, cultivate again and kill emerged weeds so they do not seed and replenish the weed seed bank. And number three, last one, we have cover crops. So cover crops can be used between rows and at field edges to improve weed management and allow for another crop to grow instead of weeds. See the potential cover crops for field-grown ornamentals for the desirability of species for cover crops. The cover crop selected will depend on soil type, environmental conditions, and the ornamental crop. The cover crop can be a living mulch that is repeatedly mowed to minimize competition, or it can be sprayed with herbicides and used as a non-living mulch. Certain cover crops can be hard to suppress with herbicides such as white or strawberry clovers. An annual cover crop can be established and allowed to senesce naturally or where freezing temperatures occur. Be killed back by exposure to frost. And next we have ways of weed management, which is one of them is mowing using a lawn mower where Mowing is used to prevent rampant growth or the weeds, reduce the formation of seed, and reduce the spread of weed seed into cultivated areas. Properly timed mowing can also suppress some perennial weeds such as established Johnson grass. However, repeated mowing over a period of time, seasons, or years, without any other means of weed control tends to favor the establishment of low-growing perennial grasses, which are very competitive for water and nutrients. Also, species that have flower heads below the level of blade are not effectively controlled. If performed after seed set, mowing can spread weed seed and exacerbate weed problems. Okay, so let's get back to it. Next we have flaming. Flaming can be used before planting or on weeds between crop rows to avoid injuring the crop. Direct the flame at young weeds between the rows or use shields. Broadleaf weeds are controlled more effectively than grasses by flaming, and young weeds are better controlled than older ones. Because of the cost of fuel, the time required to pass over the beds, potentially injury to workers, and fire hazard, flaming is not widely used method of weed control for field-grown flowers or nurseries. Okay, the third one is going to be mulches. Various kinds of bark, composted yard waste, and other organic materials can be used to help suppress annual weeds by covering the soil surface and preventing weed seed germination and establishment. Only 2 or 3 inches of this fine organic mulch finished yard waste may be required to totally eliminate light on the soil and suppress the growth of weeds. An advantage to the fine mulches is that after the crop is harvested, the mulch can be worked into the soil and improve drainage, soil structure, and water holding capacity of the soil. A disadvantage of fine mulch is that weed seeds that fall on it will germinate and grow. So coarse wood chips or bark may require 3 to 6 inches of material to eliminate light. Synthetic materials, geotextiles, landscape fabrics made of polypropylene or polyester can also be used as mulches, but because of the cost, they generally are used only the perennial shrubs or trees or under containers because they last several years. They can be left on for the life of the tree or shrub, or they can be removed and reused. Dark plastic mulches can be used for weed control when using drip or furrow irrigations. So here are the examples on weed management. First we have mowing. No, quick. Stop. Okay, and we have flaming right next to it and mulching. So my summary of weed management, most of the weed management methods are proven to be very effective according to the plant that are suitable for the weed management technique. Some of the crops are very fragile due to their characteristics and may not withstand the unsuitable heat and chemicals of some of the requirements in certain weed management. So that's all for today, and thank you.